What's going on, guys? So recently we uploaded a video of us working on the airbags in this vehicle. We did the current airbags, driver wheel airbag, knee airbag over here, and the seat belts. Another thing we were fighting with this vehicle was that the power steering was really stiff. I've got it fixed right now, and the reason I didn't record a video of me fixing it is because I wasn't sure if this was going to fix it or not. Like, I really had to muscle it in order to turn the steering wheel. So I went underneath the hood, and with power steering, I usually look for like a power steering reservoir or like a power steering pump. But the first thing you'll notice is there's really no reservoir for the power steering. Usually with Subarus, they would be in this area, if I can recall. That is our brake fluid. Our coolant is over here, and our washer fluid is over there. Here, let me turn this off. It's got a dead battery in it. So I found out that these don't have a power steering pump. Basically, there's no like hydraulic fluid involved for the power steering functionality. What controls the power steering is actually an electronic motor that I believe is behind the steering wheel, like in the column area, and it's hooked up to the power steering rack of this vehicle. Another thing that's involved with the power steering system in these cars, and these should apply for the newer Subarus. So this is a Subaru Impreza. I'm guessing any Subarus 2015 or 2014 and up would probably have the same setup. I found the fix, and thankfully it really wasn't anything too crazy. So this car, you can see it's a little dusty. It's actually been sitting in our yard for a while, and actually the power steering was out from when we first got the car, like from the insurance auction. So looks like this damage happened before we actually even received it. So if you look right here, this is the power steering control module. This is like the brains of the power steering. It probably, takes signals from the ABS controllers, other sensors that involve the drivability of the vehicle, and it probably all computes it in here for safety reasons and whatnot. And then it also controls the power steering motor, I guess, if that makes sense. So what I started doing was, first thing I did, look for a fuse, see if there's a fuse involved, because it's an electronic system. I don't think there is a fuse for this system. So second thing I did, you look for the item that's most visible. Power steering, the steering wheel is most visible. Then you come over here, look at the control module, and you just kind of look at the general area. You look at the wiring. One other thing that I wanted to point out with these power steering systems, sometimes if they don't work properly or they're pretty stiff or something like that, another telltale or a point that you want to check is the battery. Sometimes if the battery is low or pretty much dying, it can affect the power steering system, from what I was reading online. So I went ahead and switched from a good battery in this Subaru to here, and that really didn't do anything. So I went ahead and put the old battery back on. So if we look back here, this is the power steering controller, or power steering control module. This connector right here that's in the middle, to remove this, I just had to push over here with a screwdriver and just pull it off. It will hurt your fingers. And then I just followed this wire, and you can see I already made some repairs, but I followed this wire down to about this area right here, and it looked like some sort of critter, either a mouse or a squirrel, got to it and cut up a few wires. So I made those repairs, and guess what? Now we have power steering. So if you're in my boat, there is no power steering reservoir, there's no power steering pump in these cars. Check the control module. Check the connections that go to it, and then to get to the connectors for the back of this, to give yourself some space, you could remove this intake piece. So you just loosen up this clamp right here, loosen up that clamp, and then there's a rivet that goes there, I believe, and then you should be able to shimmy it off and move this aside. That actually, it is kind of loose right now, so I can just move it to show you guys how much space we have to work with. So this connector, this wire, and I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie these wires back together, and just wanted to show you guys what's all involved with these newer Subarus and the power steering. I know this video was pretty random and the repair was kind of simple, but I just wanted to show you guys, well, the main idea behind the video was to show you guys the systems that are in these newer Subarus because when I was doing some searching here on YouTube and whatnot, I couldn't really find anything on the newer Subarus and their power steering systems. So hopefully this video can kind of help clarify that for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna call it. Glad we have power steering now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to get to them or answer them if I have the answers. But in the meantime, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to do more of this kind of content, and we'll see you in the next video.